Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Beagles Games Guitars. Today's video is going to be a solo playthrough of Euphoria by Stonemaier Games, designed back in 2013. Included in this is the 2019 expansion, Ignorance is Bliss, which includes a solo mode, so that's the only way I can play solo is by having the expansion. Thankfully, I love this game enough to get the expansion. So I'm not going to do a complete rules overview. I'm just going to do a very basic general rules. If you know how to play the game, you can just kind of skip to the beginning. I've already done all the setup. I've chosen my factions. I've been given my dilemma. I've gotten my artifact. The only thing I need to do is assign the Automa's factions. So this is a worker placement game where you're going to be using dice instead of meeples to place them out in various actions on the board. And the actions are going to have you gain resources, and then you're going to be converting those resources into other resources, and then using those resources to build buildings or buy more artifacts in order to place your stars out. The object of this game is to be the first player to have 10 stars on the board. I'm going to be playing against 2 Automas because that's how this particular Automa system works. So this is a 3-player game. So there is the black opponent and the white opponent. I will be the red today. We will start by rolling our dice, and wow, I have 12 knowledge there. Just giving all their dice rolls. Done. The Automa follows a card system. It's a 2-card system, and it runs as smooth as butter according to the rule book here. So once you digest this rule book, it's really not that hard. It does flow as smooth as butter. Cold butter, but butter. So let me do a few more quick setup steps, and then we will get started. So for my factions, I've actually chosen a factionless, Spyros the Model Citizen. So once per turn after I place a worker, I can lose a heart to place another worker as if I roll 2 of a kind. So a new variant included in the Ignorance of Bliss expansion is you can lose a morale or a heart to place a second worker if it has the same number value, which I happen to roll 2 6s. And that's what the factionless will do, regardless of what number is on the dice. My hidden faction is a Euphorian faction, Hajun the Gold Trader. So at the end of my turn, I can pay gold to gain a card without paying its cost at the bazaar. So in the new expansion, there is a bazaar. It's kind of like a card conveyor belt. So the first one's always free, and then the cost goes increasingly higher as you get closer to the deck. So the Automa is going to be filtering through this deck. So I'll be seeing more cards. I got super lucky in my setup. My artifacts were some deflated balloons. They look sad and saggy. And then my ethical dilemma was actually using a balloon to solve my ethical dilemma. So I'm probably going to be holding on to this balloon card for the entirety of the game and just doing that as my very last action. There's 3 things you can do: place workers, retrieve workers, or solve your ethical dilemma. Ethical dilemma will give you a star, or you get to draw additional factions. A beagle has joined the world. A beagle has joined. So, since I chose a factionless, that opened more options up for the Automa, because they're supposed to pick the 2 opposite of the factions you chose. My hidden faction being Euphoria. So the black team will be going for the Wastelanders, and then the white team will be going for a Subterran. And I will be starting this round, unfortunately, with 6s. So at least I still get water. I'm secretly going for the Euphorian, but let me go ahead and show my colors. I'll take a lightning. Energy, as they call it. And that'll actually decrease my knowledge. And this is the lead card, and here's the main card. White faction is going to Eco-Right with their... and they will not increase the allegiance track. The white team is going to go to their own faction, which is Subterran, and they will increase their track. And that's Automa's first turn. We will ignore this only if it's on the lead card, not the support card. Do I want to convert that, or do I want to get Bliss? Yeah, this is 12. So 12 will give me 2 Bliss. I don't have my multiplier, so I'm just going to grab more than 1. but I get a little smarter, so I mitigated that first bit of intelligence. This will be the burn card. Okay, black team going to their own resource pool, which they are Wastelander. They're going up. So now the white team is going to go to the tunnel of their faction. Highest dice, boom, jumps over. The Automas work a little different in the fact that if they do the card, once they get their allegiance track to the card flipping location, they'll gain a star. On top of the star they'll gain if it goes to the end. So this is a little more important in a solo game. So now that I have both my workers out, I will pay, there it goes, a bliss to increase my morale by 2, retrieve my workers. That was a 6. Oh, does it count if it's on the ground? It's a 4 and a 3. Okay. Automa. Black team's going to their own resource pool. They're at 8, so no advancement. White is going to the Eco-Right faction. So Eco-Right sitting at 12. There's a potential for them to retrieve their workers next round. So now I have this and that. I will take up here, getting rid of a bliss and any of the other commodity to gain 2 cards and a bump in the Eco-Right. Thankfully, the Eco-Right is not on the Automas, so I don't have to worry about that. I do kind of want to get a second balloon, and I have no resources to pay for another card, so I will take the baseball bat. So now they have this icon and the support card, so they'll be leaving behind 1 worker in a resource area that is not theirs. So they're not going to do their actions here. They're going to be retrieving. So black is Wasteland. They're going to leave it up in Eco-Right and re-roll. White is going to be doing the same thing. They're Subterran, so they won't leave in Subterran. They're going to leave up there in Eco-Right as well. Thankfully, my hidden faction is not Eco-Right. Sorry, I forgot to slide the belt down. Balloons. I should do like the same turn as last time. Let's see, I kind of do want to go up here to get 2 bliss. A little bit smarter, but I'll be safe. If I remember right, you cannot go down to 1 worker. You always have at least 2. Okay, last card of the first deck. Black Automa is going to their own resource pool. So now, oh, these are flipped. Oopsies. If I were to have that faction, now I could get 2 food instead of 1. And the white Automa is going to the tunnel of the Euphorian people. That is their turn. I'll be shuffling their deck shortly and adding in more cards. I have to get rid of a bliss. My morale will go up twice, retrieving my workers. Rolling is called a knowledge check, so that's 6 on top of 4, so that's 10 total knowledge. If they get too smart, they realize the bleakness of their existence and run away and quit working for you. So let me stop and shuffle in deck number 1. So as I'm shuffling, I'll just explain that adding in these cards basically gives the Automa more power. So they progressively have stronger actions. So they might start actually building buildings. Building buildings! Support card, action card. They're going to take the first card of the bazaar. Balloon would have been nice. And now black will go to the resource, the tunnel of Euphoria, bumping the white worker. And now the white will go to their own commodity area. I need to start calling them commodities. Bumping that. That's over there. Okay. I got workers. Workers, baby. I think I do want to pay a heart to do a combo here. Let's do it. So let's get a lightning bolt, increasing Euphorian, and I will spend a heart using my faction list to place my second dice up here. I forgot what I wanted to do exactly. Oh, Go to the Euphorian tunnel, bumping black worker, converting the bolts into gold. Okay, black. So they're going to go to the Icarite territory or commodity area, and the white team will go to their own commodity area. So they're at 4, so that is a bump. I'm going to get rid of my bliss, increase my morale by 2, and retrieve my workers. Knowledge check has me at a 4 + 4 at 8. Now the black Automa is going to go to their own commodity area. They're at 4, so that is a bump. And now white Automa is going to go to their own tunnel down here, so that's a bump. So once they hit these card flip areas, that'll also initiate this giving them a star. So there's 2 ways that they can earn a star. Let's see if I win this time. I did not do so good last time. I'm sensing that they're going to build soon, because these have been green cards so far. And there's 6 green cards in the first deck. So I added 2 more, so there's still 4 more in there. So there's a potential that they could start building. So I think I am going to contribute to the Euphorian area, surrendering a gold. Let's see if I was right. Close. So black is actually going to retrieve all its workers except for 1, and it'll leave its highest number behind in a commodity area that is not theirs. White will also retrieve their workers, leaving 1 behind in a commodity area that is not theirs. So Icarite, eat your heart out. You're getting a lot of bliss up there. 1 more turn for me. I have a lot of morale, so I don't necessarily need to get bliss or food. So I have a 3 to get some energy, which will increase the Icarite or the Euphorian area. I'm wanting to flip that, so we're getting there. I just need to keep converting gold and building in these buildings that require gold. So that would be the smart choice. Worst comes to worst, I can use a 2 for 1 to help put a star out on a building if they build it before me. Oh wow, they're still not doing it. Black will go to their own commodity area, bumping, and white will go to the Subterran commodity area, which is their own. That is that. So quite literally, I think all the green cards have come out. So, let me leave that as a support. I'm going to lose a morale and only retrieve 1 worker, because I rolled it as a 1. I am banking that they're building. Wow, they're still not building. Black's going to their own commodity area. That's a 4, so that's a bump. Anyone who were to have this faction and go to this tunnel space will now receive a brick and a card. Now white's going to be going to the Wastelander tunnel, bumping him a little further down the track. I would like to get 2 lightning. No, just 1 lightning. I have not shown my colors yet. And a bump. Really hoping that they build. Wow. I think all 8 green cards. So they're going to be building very soon and very fast. Okay, so white's actually going to retrieve all the workers except for 1 in a commodity area that is not theirs. And white is actually going to retrieve all their workers except for a worker not in their commodity area. Fortunately, I have to lose a morale to return this 1 worker. Please roll a low number. 2 is good. I'm banking on it. Yeah, someone's building. So black will go to a tunnel space of Wastelander, a bump. Now white is finally going to build, and logically they want to help build buildings that are already being built, or they want to place stars on buildings they have not contributed to. And then once they're all built and all their stars are on there, then they're just going to start pumping them out in territories. So they always pick the lowest available spot. We both get our workers back. Okay, and we both put a star out there. First star is on the board. So I could go here with a balloon and a stone to increase the Euphorian track and get a star. Or I could go to the pre-built market. So now black has a penalty because they have not contributed. So anytime they roll a 6, it will go on that card. So white is done. I have some lightning. I would like to convert a lightning to a gold. And then I would like to lose a morale to place a second worker as if it had the same number to spend that gold to help build a building up here. And just like that, black is going to help build a building. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Let me fix my territory stars. So now we both get our workers back. I rolled a 5, they rolled a 1. White now has a penalty because they did not help contribute to this. And now I have 2 stars and they both have 1 star out. White's going to continue by going to the card area, the breeze bar of Icarite, increasing their allegiance. Now it's back to me. I still want to keep progressing down here, bumping myself to convert this energy into a gold. And now, let's see if they decide to build. Oh, they're both going to build on the building, and I'm not going to contribute. So they're going to build a building in their area. So black will go to Wastelander, lowest section. White will build a building in Icarite, but they want to help contribute to a building already being built. Take a shot every time I say building. So they both get their workers back. They both put a star, and now I have a penalty which says when placing a star, lose a heart. So I wouldn't mind, I have a gold, and I wouldn't mind getting a teddy bear to get rid of this. So if my understanding is correct, I place this star and I don't have to lose a heart because now I covered it up. I'm going to play it like that. Someone can correct me later. So let me get 2 bliss and a little smarter. Where's my second worker? He's over there at the tunnel. Okay. Now I'm going to shuffle in deck number 2, and let me do this kind of shuffle. Automa deck is out, lead card, support card. So now black is going to go to Euphorian, so they get a bump. The white will go to the tunnel of Subterran, so flip. I have to spend the bliss to gain 2 morale to retrieve my workers. A 1 and a 6. Ah, man, the double building card. So they're going to build in Wastelander and over here. So now they both get their cards back, dice back. So this states you can't gain more resources if you have 3 or more. You can discard resources. So that's not quite as bad as a penalty. But I'm going to lose some morale and do a little trick here. I'm going to go to the card area. So that'll increase Icarite, and then I get to... Oh, no. I'm going to do that retroactively. So that's a 7. A little stupider. So now I'm getting rid of the lightning energy and the Icarite and the morale to do what I just said. I think I already decreased it. If not, I'll just play on hard mode. So a book, I can only hold 4 cards. And I really want that teddy bear. Am I concerned about the book? I am. So baseball bat is going away. Okay. I foresee a problem. It's okay. So they're gonna take away the glasses. Another slide down. So they are going to go to, what's that called? The Sky Lounge. Actually, they're retrieving all their workers because they only have one left. And they don't have that symbol. Penalty. White is going to go to their own resource area. Now this is where I said I foresee a problem because I have the cards. Balloons won't be a big deal. So I'm going to lose a morale to retrieve my workers. Down to 3 cards now. They are going to go to the Eco-Right, but they're, Man, Eco-Right's going to be hard to go to this game. White is going to retrieve all their workers, finally. They rolled 1-6, penalty. So now it's back to me. And so I will be going up. Where was it? Where was it? Here. So gold and a teddy bear artifact to increase the Wastelander tunnel. Place a star on here, and I don't have to lose morale when placing a star now. Okay. And actually, let's lose morale because I can get rid of a book and a card. Let's be risky with it. To go up the Wastelander tunnel to place another star here. So now both of those buildings have my stars on it. I have to place my worker out there. Okay. I feel like they are going to be working hard to build buildings. The book is gone. Is that a suitcase? That's a suitcase. Black is going to go to their own commodity area. So now Black has received 1 star along the Allegiance track. They will go to the Tunnel of Wastelander. I always call the Wastelander West. So now, unfortunately, I have to lose a morale to retrieve my workers. 4 and a 2 to a 4 is 10. So now Black is going to retrieve their workers, leaving 1 behind. They're going to roll their 6 to try and get out of a penalty, and they did. Black is going to go to their own commodity area, bump the Allegiance. I would like to still focus on gold. Don't necessarily need cards at the moment. So 2 to get 1 energy. And now Black is going to go to the tunnel of their faction, Wastelander. Their card's already been flipped. That was a 5 for White. White is going to build a building in their faction, which is Subterran. So the very lowest one. So now, unfortunately, let's see what happens here. If I want to go ahead and go to the tunnel to bump and convert my energy into gold. Let's see who builds where. Black is going to place a worker in their faction, going along the track. White is going to retrieve all their workers except for a worker in a commodity area that is not theirs, and workers in buildings. They want to keep those there. Okay, I don't have morale or food, so I just get to take my workers back with no penalty. Back to the Automa. Black's going to retrieve every worker. There's no icon saying they leave 1 behind. White is going to go to their tunnel. So now they have received a star because they flipped a card along the tunnel path. So they have 6, I have 6 stars. 2, 4, Black has 6. We all have 6 stars. So we are, at least I'm keeping up with the normal difficulty here. So it's back to me. Let's see. I don't think the double building has come out yet, so even if they do contribute, I'm going to go up here to spend my gold to go ahead and reserve my spot there. It's a single building, so they're actually going to build the lowest building because they do the lowest spot first. So they both get stars. White has a penalty now. So both put stars on there. Glasses and gold, huh? I haven't seen many glasses come out. Just one. So all artifacts of the bazaar cost an extra except for the right, which is still free. Okay, so at least that's still free. And then white is going to go to Eco-Right's Sky Lounge. No, they're going to go to the Breeze Bar, increasing Eco-Right. I have a 2. I could get the water. Let me try something. Now I'm at a standstill here. Okay, yeah. Let's get 1 water. We're going to try this. This might not work. At least I'm getting a star on a building soon. So black is going to go to their own Automa area, commodity area. They are 1 away from getting a 2nd star. White wants to visit an artifact market, but they're going to continue building. So they're going to help build down here. Kind of as I predicted they were going to do something like that. They gave me a 6. So now white and me have a star on there. Let's see. I have 5 stars, white has 4, black has 5, but black's about to get another star very soon. So it's back to me here. I have a resource. I could take a card. Is the card even worth it? Let's get, what is that, 9? So that actually gives me 2 food, and I get a little smarter. Intelligence doesn't hurt right now. All the buildings are built, so now they're just going to be putting stars on buildings they did not contribute towards. Black's going to go to their own commodity area, and white is going to retrieve all their workers except for 1 in a commodity area, not their own, which is nobody. They rolled a 6 again. Now back to me, getting rid of a food to increase my morale by 2, retrieving both my workers. 1 and a 4. Where's that double build card? Oh, there it is. So black is going to contribute starting in their area, which will be down here. If I remember right, that still increases that. Now white will contribute starting in Subterran, right here. And that'll increase Euphoria. So close to doing the Euphorian bump here. Gold and a teddy, all my, except for down here, it cost an extra. But glasses, very specific cost. I could get 3 of a kind here. Let's get a lightning. Now let's get a bliss. So it's 1 bliss and a bump on Eco-Right, which they do not worry about right now. Black is going to contribute to something they have not, so they've contributed to everything. They're going to put a star in the Euphorian territory. It increases it. And now white is going to go to their own tunnel, which is blue, Subterran. They're getting close to the end there. I have choices. Let me go up here to surrender a water and a bliss to go up to Eco-Right and get 2 cards. So the rightmost is always still free. And I can hold up to 3 cards. So now it's their turn again. Black is going to go to their own commodity area, which will be, and they are stacking up. White is going to go to their own tunnel. They're so close to the end. and I'll have to shuffle that in a second. Surrendering my food to morale, and my workers come back. A 1 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wonder if that would be worth it. Starting out with a factionless was kind of difficult because I didn't have that extra resource bump. I've used him a couple of times. We're getting kind of late game here. I wouldn't mind getting that balloon. There and there, retrieve. Still got 4 turns before I can do that. I feel so behind. Okay, black is going to build or start in their area, putting a star up there. Wow, they comboed it. Reach the end. They also get a second star. So black has 1 more star to place. White is going to go to the tunnel of Euphoria. Now they flip Euphoria, so now I get to show my hand over here. So now I can pay a gold to gain any card without paying the cost at the end of my turn. So I would like to go to here. So now that I have shown my colors, I get 2 of them and a bump. And I could lose a morale to immediately go over here. They get their worker back, so now I get to convert an energy to a gold and to gain a card. And then at the end of the turn, I can spend that gold to get any card without paying the cost. So now it's their turn. There's the game right there. Black is going to put a star right out there. I lost by a lot. I was a couple of turns away. I could solve my ethical dilemma right here. I was going to try and do a 3-for-1 trade to put a star out in Euphoria, which would have bumped it a little bit more. Could have gotten 2 more stars at least. So I did not do as good as I wanted to do. I think starting off with a factionless is pretty difficult. I wanted to try a different route this time, because normally I ignore the factionless, but I figured for the sake of a video, try something a little different. I've actually never drawn another recruit card from these ethical dilemmas. Me and my wife have this thing where we just hold that ethical dilemma right next to us until the very end when we have 1 star left, and then when we see that the other person has 1 star left, we know what's happening. We know that next turn they're going to solve their ethical dilemma. So basically, once we're down the 1 star, we kind of like, alright, it's game over. But I've pulled a fast one on her before and done a double star combo like this, where you hit the end of your allegiance track and then bam bam, bam bam bam. So that's how you play Euphoria. As I just shown, this is a very quick fire game, or it can be if you know how to do the Automa. The Automa structure is very simple, as you just saw. All you do is basically just put the dice where it tells you, and if there's an icon that says to increase the allegiance track, then you increase it. And I think the stars on the buildings are very logical, because of course a human player is going to want to contribute to a building that's already there. It's kind of obvious. And then once they're all built, it's kind of obvious you want to pick on the ones that you haven't put a star on, because you want to avoid that penalty. And then once they're built, it's pretty obvious that you want to put them in the territories of your faction, because of course, don't you want your faction to go to the end and you get a star for it? Because the Automas get that second star, so they like hyper prioritize going up the allegiance track. I think it simulates 2 players very well. Me and my wife have played 2-player with these Automa. You can actually play a 4-player with these Automas if you want to get really crazy, because this game does go up to 6 players. Let's see if I forgot anything. I got them all. Yep, it goes up to 6 players. I don't know if I would ever play it with 6 players. That seems like a lot. But I do appreciate Stonemaier Games always thinking about additional players. They usually make games that play up to at least 5, and they're very, very heavy focused on solo. His first couple of games, Euphoria and Viticulture, didn't really have a solo mode, but as the expansions came out, they were designed for it, and I greatly appreciate that because I'm a big solo player. Anyways, that is how you play Euphoria, build a better dystopia. Enjoy.